Hi, today is Wednesday, May 25th, and I am so excited for today's video because I have my sampler set of the Bring Back My Bars that will be launching on June 1st. So this was a group that I was pretty excited about. There were several bars in here that I have not smelled before, so I was really excited to get my set. I'm actually going to be doing this video a little bit differently. I have already gone through and smelled all of these bars. I just could not wait. So I figured since I've already smelled them, I would kind of present them to you in my order of least favorite to favorite. And that is just based on my first impression cold sniffs. And I'm sure that that will probably change as I warm these bars and give them a try. But I thought I would just kind of share with you how I've ranked them so far. I know a lot of other people have been getting their Bring Back My Bar sampler sets in, and I've actually held off on watching any of those videos just because I wanted to share my first impressions before I watched those, but I cannot wait to see what other people have to say. I also smelled these with my husband, so I'll try to remember kind of his thoughts on some of the scents that stand out if I can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Again, this ranking is definitely subject to change. This is just kind of how I threw them together based on my first sniffs. And actually, I was kind of smelling some of them again, and I've already kind of reorganized them based on my preference. So it definitely is subject to change. But let's go ahead and start with my least favorite of the group of 25. And I have to send a huge apology to Lisa Rowberry because I know she was so excited for this scent to come back. This is Very PEARY Pumpkin. And I have the scent notes listed here. Scentsy says this is sweet noshy pear, freshly picked pumpkin, tart green apple, and toasted spices are carried on a breeze of crisp autumn air. So I was super excited to smell this, super hopeful. This scent hasn't been available for a very long time, and I'd never smelled it before. And I have to say that when I first smelled this, I got hit with this very kind of pureed pumpkin pungent smell, and this hardly ever happens to me, but this actually made me gag when I first smelled it. I had a physical reaction to this scent. My husband smelled it too, and he did not like it at all. So once you get past that very kind of pungent pureed pumpkin scent, there is a little bit of sweetness. It's actually quite sweet. I guess it's coming from the pear, but I don't get a very like tart pear note. This definitely is more of like a cooked pear sweetness. Something about this almost reminds me of a coconut smell. So it kind of smells maybe like coconut pumpkin pie, but it definitely is a pureed pumpkin scent. So I think if you like scents like pumpkin marshmallow, then you should definitely give this a try. But to me, that pureed pumpkin was just a little too much. So yeah, I guess I'll give this a try in the fall. And it could be that we're just outside of this scent season. So maybe as it starts to, cool down in the fall, I might be in the mood for this, but there was just something about this that my nose did not agree with. So unfortunately, this is my least favorite of the group on cold. All right, next up is another scent that I was really excited to smell. This is BUCKLEBERRY, and Scentsy says this is a bite of summer's bounty, bursting fresh berries atop a buttery blanket of crumbly coffee cake. Smelling this scent, that is not how I would describe this at all. So this is a very powerful scent. I do get the berry note. It's a very tart, bordering bitter berry scent, and I don't get any of the bakery components to this. So I don't get any sweet coffee cake note. I just get a very tart, almost bitter berry. There's something about this that reminds me of the weird note in blood orange spice mixed with the weird note to my nose in Grandma's Orchard. Those are two scents that I just cannot do. They're just very sharp and almost like cloyingly tart to my nose. This scent would fall in that category to me. So it is kind of a syrupy berry scent, but it's just a little too tart for my nose. This actually does smell more like a fall winter berry scent. There's something about this that kind of reminds me of spiced berries. But definitely like a darker, more tart, bitter berry. So nothing about this screams summer to me. It doesn't scream bakery to me. I'm excited to kind of see what other people have to say about this one because I thought I would love this, and this was another kind of disappointment to me. Now, again, because this smells kind of like a fall winter berry to me, I might enjoy it more as we get into that season. So I'll have to revisit this, but on cold, there is just something about this that does not agree with my nose. All right, I think this next one is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I have never really cared for Berry of Paradise. And since he describes this as scrumptious sugared strawberry, bird of paradise, and vanilla bean. And to me, this is another just very, very sharp scent to my nose. So I think it's probably coming from the strawberry. Strawberry is a really tough note to do in home fragrance without smelling super artificial. And there's something very kind of candy-like and artificial about this strawberry. But I think mixed with the bird of paradise, it just adds this almost sour scent to my nose that comes across as cloying, almost like headache inducing. So while I know a lot of people really like this and are probably really excited to have it back, I also think it's probably a really good performer. There's just something about the scent itself that doesn't agree with my nose. So Berry of Paradise will definitely not be going into my Scentsy Club this round. All right, this next one is one that I will admit I'm enjoying a little bit more now on these second sniffs than I did the first time I smelled it, and it is Zeppelin. And Scentsy says this is for those who dare to take to the sky. Elegantly balanced citrus and sage soar over sandalwood and vetiver. So this is citrus, sage, sandalwood, and vetiver. And it definitely does come across as a masculine scent. There is something very herbaceous about this, and I think it's probably coming from the sage. It's a very sharp sage note. So it almost kind of like singes my nose hairs just a little bit. It's very astringent smelling. So I don't know. This smells like it might be more of like an aftershave type body care product rather than a cologne, just because it does smell a little bit soapy to me. And that's probably coming from the citrus and sage. But yeah, it's a very astringent masculine scent. There's something that smells very kind of light and airy about this. So it almost has that kind of ozone note. I think that it probably will warm nicely. Masculine scents aren't always my favorite anyway, so I'm not surprised that this is so far down on my list. But I think if you like masculine, kind of airy, outdoorsy, herbal scents, you'll like this one, and it smells like it should be a pretty good performer. So that's Zeppelin. All right, and I think I have another unpopular opinion case on my hands. This is Pineapple Coconut Vanilla. So Scentsy describes this as you were born to run, free that is, ride the wind alongside coconut, pineapple blush, and blue fig. This is another scent, kind of like Berry of Paradise, that I have just never been a fan of. Now, I will admit that we recently went through a body wash in Pineapple Coconut Vanilla, and it was quite pleasant, but there's just something about this scent that just doesn't quite do it for me. So with those notes, Pineapple Coconut Vanilla, I would just expect this to be a little bit more fruity. I think a lot of the vanilla comes out in this, and it does give it kind of a musky, muted quality. There's something about this scent that just kind of smells stale to my nose and dull. So it's one of those kind of stale, dull scents that's fine. It's kind of like a body care perfumey scent. It just doesn't stand out to me, and I wouldn't go out of my way to pick this bar up. So this is one that I will use probably in a bedroom or a bathroom. It's just not one of my favorite scents. There are so many other scents that I like better than pineapple coconut vanilla. Again, I think a lot of people will probably like this one. It's just not one of my favorites. All right, and I have to preface this next section of bars by saying that I am usually not a huge fan of bakery scents. So I know that there are a lot of bakery lovers out there, and all of these scents would probably be much higher up on your list. But for me, bakery is very hit or miss. My husband hates bakery scents, so I don't get away with a lot of bakery scents anyway. So next up is Caramel Vanilla Delight, and Scentsy describes this as vanilla ice cream, liquid caramel, and a splash of white rum. So this was originally released as a holiday brick, and I stayed away from it when it was a brick, and then I believe it was in the catalog for a little while. But smelling it now, it's actually not too bad. And even my husband said, oh, this isn't too bad. It is very, very sweet. So I do get more of the vanilla from this than like a deep, rich caramel. And I think that's probably why I like this a little bit more than I thought I would. Really deep, sweet, cloying, rich caramel scents are just not my jam. They would kind of tend to give me a headache or almost like make me nauseated. But this isn't a deep scent. This is kind of a light, sweet vanilla scent. And I don't know, I think this would be a really good mixer if you wanted to kind of give something a sweet vanilla boost. I think this would be a really nice one to use. I think this is probably a pretty good performer too. So this is just kind of middle of the road. It's a nice bakery scent, but again, I'm not a huge bakery person, but I do think Caramel Vanilla Delight is nice. All right, and I've kind of been debating which order I should put these next four in, but I think that I'm going to go with Lemon Coconut Chiffon next. Scentsy says this is melt in your mouth lemon custard layered with butter cake and sprinkled with toasted coconut. So this is another one that I'd never smelled that I was really, really excited to smell, and it is really nice. It smells like it should be a really good performer. This actually reminds me a lot of the lemon drizzle cake from the Easter collection this year. Without that kind of weird floral note that one had, it almost came across as a little bit powdery. I don't get any of that powderiness from this scent. It is just like a sweet vanilla cake with lemon. So it's really, really nice. And again, I've kind of been going back and forth with what order I wanted to put these in. I liked this a little bit better than my husband did. My husband did not like this one at all. So this is one that I wouldn't warm a ton of in my house. But I think if you like bakery scents and you like those really sweet, warm lemon scents, you will really, really like this one. This is kind of what I was hoping lemon drizzle cake would be. So I think if you liked that one but weren't a huge fan of that weird floral powdery note, you should definitely give Lemon Coconut Chiffon a try. I don't get a ton of coconut from this. It might just be kind of adding to the sweet creaminess of it, but this one does smell like it should be really, really good. And it reminds me a lot of Cutie Pie cupcakes. So let me pull this one up. So Scentsy says this is sweet clementine and yellow cake batter with vanilla and sugary icing. We've had this one several times in past BBMBs. And I'm actually liking it a little bit more this round than I have in the past. So to me, it smells very similar to the Lemon Coconut Chiffon, but with a more kind of tangy, tart orange note. It's not quite as sweet. I think I get a little bit more of that cake note from Lemon Coconut Chiffon, where this one almost smells a little bit more like a dreamsicle, like an orange dreamsicle, kind of like orange ice cream to me. but it's nice. The orange is coming off slightly like a cleaner type orange to my nose. But again, I think if you like the kind of sweet bakery scents, you'll really like this one. And I know that this one is super, super popular. All right, and then these next two actually took me by surprise. I thought I would hate these scents and they would be at the very bottom of my list, but I found them actually kind of pleasant. So this first one that I'm talking about is French Toast. And Scentsy says this is a perfect light slice of bread dunked in golden egg batter, dusted with powdered sugar, and finished with a swirl of sweet maple syrup. So like caramel, maple just comes across as totally cloying, headache-inducing, nauseating to me. So I was really, really apprehensive of this bar. And I do get a little bit of that maple note, but it actually is kind of more in the background of this scent. I thought it would just be a maple explosion, but this is actually done really, really nicely. So I get a lot of cinnamon from this. This smells very like fall bakery to me. And in the fall, I can handle some of the more kind of sweet, spicy bakery scents. There's something about this that kind of reminds me of like pumpkin roll or pumpkin cinnamon swirl. It also smells a lot like the brick that came out last year, vanilla cinnamon maple. So just kind of a nice warm fall bakery scent. I do get a lot of cinnamon, so I think if you are sensitive to cinnamon, you might want to stay away from this one. But it's really nice. And again, I think that I will probably enjoy warming this one in the fall. My husband didn't like it. Again, he doesn't like bakery scents, so that was no surprise. But this wasn't as cloying as I thought it would be, and it's mixed really, really nicely. So yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by French Toast. And then another one that I had just completely written off was Blueberry Pancakes. And I had smelled this scent before, and I don't know if something about my nose is changing and evolving, but I actually found this one quite pleasant too. So this is Blueberry and Butter Accord over Light Maple Make the Mood. So smelling this on the top, I do get a very kind of warm bakery blueberry scent. It actually reminds me a lot of the blueberry scent, Blueberry Burst, I think, that was in the Easter collection. It also reminds me a little bit of the kind of sweet fruity note in Fairy Tale Pumpkin. There is a nice kind of fall spiciness to this scent, a little hint of cinnamon I'm picking up, and not a ton of maple. To me, this just smells like kind of a very, very sweet, syrupy blueberry smell, maybe like blueberry syrup that you would put on pancakes. So this is another one that I think I will actually enjoy warming in the fall, and that took me by complete surprise. So I think this will be a really good performer, but I'm actually excited to try that one. All right, this next one is kind of a novelty scent to me. It's just really, really fun. This is Root Beer Float. Scentsy says this is a concoction of old-fashioned root beer and creamy vanilla ice cream. So this definitely does smell like root beer. I had my husband smell it without telling him the name of the bar, and he thought it smelled like black licorice. So that sassafras root beer note definitely smells like licorice. So if you're sensitive to those kind of scents, I don't think you would like this one. But to me, it definitely smells like root beer. Compared to root beer barrel, this does have kind of a sweet creaminess, where the root beer barrel was just very kind of sharp, like carbonated root beer. This one smells a little bit more creamy, a little bit more subdued, but you still kind of get hit in the face with that root beer smell. This definitely isn't one that I would warm all the time in my house, but I think it would be fun either in the summertime, or I also think root beer scents are really fun around Halloween. So I don't think I'll stock up on this one or put it in my club, but I think it'll be fun to have around for those times. So really nice, Root Beer Float. All right, this next one is kind of a middle of the road scent for me. This is Summer Rain, and Scentsy describes this as dew sprinkled cyclamen, fresh botanicals, and a pinch of black lava salt capture the earthy sweet scent of a passing summer storm. So this was a scent of the month a few years ago, and so I think for that reason it kind of has a sentimental value to me. This is a very sharp scent. So when you hear people describe like the smell of ozone, this scent immediately comes to mind. It is very, very sharp, kind of like a sharp floral. So I think you have to appreciate kind of the fresh, almost aquatic floral scents. This has a very notable sharpness, so this isn't a scent that I would want to warm all the time, but sometimes in the summer I do find myself kind of wanting to warm this scent. It's a good performer. I like it in bathrooms in the summertime. It's not a scent that I would put in my Scentsy club, but I don't mind having another bar of that one. All right, this next one is a bar that I couldn't remember smelling in the past, so I was really excited to give it a try. It's Inner Peace. And Scentsy says this is earthy wood notes with the unmistakable scent of lemon groves and rejuvenating cypress. So when my husband and I first smelled this bar, all I could smell is like a powdery baby powder scent. Now that I'm smelling it again, I do pick up a lot more of the lemon and a lot less of that baby powder note. There's something about the lemon note in this scent that reminds me of the lemon in the NFL Gridiron Rush bar. So kind of like a masculine, crisp lemon scent. Because it has that powderiness to it, I think this one would be nice in like a bedroom or a bathroom. It smells like it should be a pretty decent performer. It's nice. The more I smell it, the more I like it. Especially once I've kind of gotten past that baby powder note. It is a very clean, kind of soapy lemon scent. So I think that'll be nice for bedrooms, bathrooms in the summertime. I'm excited to give that one a try. All right, next up is Love and Happiness. And Scentsy says this is glazed chestnut, vanilla, and sugarcane define temptation. So this is a favorite scent of Patricia Gates. I was happy to give it another try. I had smelled it in the past, and this is another one that I had kind of written off. It's a different type of scent. So you do get this really kind of almost like gourmand sweetness from the chestnut. It is kind of a rich gourmand nuttiness, but it's mixed really interestingly with the vanilla and sugarcane, and something about that mixture actually comes off a little soapy to my nose. So this is kind of strange because it's like a clean smelling, sweet gourmand scent. It's very interesting, very unique. And I'm actually excited to give this one a try. I can't even remember warming this one in the past, but now that my nose has evolved a little bit, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this one does in the warmers. So that is Love and Happiness. All right, and next up is Coconut Vanilla Orchid, and Scentsy says this is alluring orange zest, coconut milk, and silky vanilla orchid. So this is another one that I've had in the past, but wasn't really a standout to me. And this is a really nice scent. It's definitely perfumey and feminine. I'd say I get mostly vanilla orchid from this, but it's very soft and subdued. I don't get a ton of orange, and I'd say that the coconut milk is definitely adding just some kind of creaminess to this scent, but it's mostly kind of a soft, almost like musky, powdery vanilla orchid scent. So feminine, perfumey. Smelling it again, I might put this a little bit farther down in my list, but I do like this one more than pineapple coconut vanilla. So this is just another kind of middle of the road scent for me. I think it would be nice in a bedroom, but definitely not Scentsy Club worthy to me. All right, so we're down to my top 10. And again, this could all change based on my mood, day of the week, how these scents perform in the warmers. So just based on my cold sniff first impressions, my number 10 is Bamboo Yuzu. And Scentsy says, imagine a Japanese garden as you breathe in dewy bamboo, tranquil lotus flower, and fresh yuzu with hints of sage. This is another one that I couldn't really remember smelling in the past, but this is nice. So it is kind of, tranquil is a good word. It is just kind of subdued. It's soft and I think kind of relaxing. I do get kind of a musky, sweet floral from this scent, but there is kind of a nice green freshness from the yuzu. Maybe a tiny hint of kind of an herbal note from the sage, but mostly I get kind of a nice, soft, sweet, musky floral with some brightness from the yuzu. So it's really nice. I think that this one would be a really nice one in a bathroom, bedroom, laundry room. So I'm excited to try that one. This one actually smells very similar to my nose to my number 9 scent, My Only Sunshine. And Scentsy describes this as start your day with a smile as you experience golden tuberose and jasmine balanced by sandalwood, vanilla, and glowing amber. This is one that we've had in a Bring Back My Bar not too long ago. And this one is actually growing on me. I think the last time it was in a Bring Back My Bar, I didn't love it, but this is nice. It is, again, kind of a soft, muted, sweet, musky floral. It's really well blended. I don't get a ton of sandalwood from this, but I think that with the amber is probably what's kind of making this smell just a little bit musky to me. But mostly it's just kind of a sweet, soft, sunny floral. So really, really pretty. And I'd say if you know that you like My Only Sunshine, you should definitely give Bamboo Yuzu a try, and vice versa. They just smell like they could kind of be sister scents to me. So I'm excited to have those. All right, this next one is one that I think I've smelled years and years ago, but could not remember. This is Simply Irresistible. And Scentsy says this is lavender with a strong woody background of amber, moss, and musk. And like I said earlier, I don't usually love the really kind of masculine cologne-like scents. And this one definitely comes across as cologne, but it's just really, really well done to me. It's very fresh. It kind of reminds me of Route 66. So kind of a brighter, kind of fresh and zesty cologne. Definitely masculine with the moss. And then you get that kind of herbally lavender note. Those are mixing really well. And then the amber and musk definitely make this smell kind of like a cologne, but this just smells really, really nice, really well done. I think if you're looking for just kind of a nice middle of the road masculine cologne scent, you should definitely give Simply Irresistible a try. I think this one would be really nice in an office or in a bedroom. So I'm actually excited to try that one. And like I said before, I'm not usually a huge bakery fan. So this next one is definitely kind of an anomaly for me. This is Cotton Candy Cookie. And Scentsy says it's a trip to the county fair. Little hands clutching cotton candy and cookies while gooey treats topped with sugared raspberries beg to be tasted. So this is one that we've had a few times in the recent past, and I actually enjoy it. So I think that it came back with an Easter collection, and at first it's a scent that you kind of have to get used to because it is a different type of sweet bakery, and I know this is kind of a hit or miss scent for people, but I do get a very kind of sweet confectionery sugar type scent with a really nice kind of syrupy raspberry. So to me, it kind of smells like the Linzer cookies, where you have the sugar cookie, but you have that kind of raspberry jam on top as well. That's what this smells like. It's very, very sweet. And I could see that if you don't like sweet scents, you would not like this. But sometimes I am just in the mood for this scent and I crave it. But this is another one that my husband doesn't like. So I have to be careful about where I warm this one. But it's really nice, and that's Cotton Candy Cookie. All right, and I was really excited to smell this next one. This is Blackberry Orange Marmalade. And Scentsy says this is orange marmalade and blackberry jam over sugar crystals. So I do tend to like kind of fruitier scents, and I really, really like this one. So you do get that kind of dark, rich, juicy blackberry, but then the orange comes in and just kind of elevates that scent. So you get the kind of tanginess from the orange with the sweet tartness from the blackberry. And it's a really, really nice combination. So I could see this one being a really nice transition scent from summer to fall, or a scent to enjoy in the late summer. This is really nice. I'm definitely excited to warm that one. All right, and we're into my top 5. So in the number 5 spot, this is Enchanted Mist. And Scentsy says this is a romantic blend of juicy apples, enhanced and sweetened by rose petals and rich jasmine. So this is one that I have had in the past. And to me, this is a really kind of sweet, clean, perfumey apple. So I mostly get apple from this scent, especially smelling the bottom. But you get the rose and jasmine notes that kind of come in and round the scent out, make it feel a little bit like clean and perfumey. But this is a really good performer based on my past experience with it. And it's a really nice one that I've enjoyed in bathrooms. So it is very clean and refreshing, sweet and perfumey. So I definitely get mostly apple from Enchanted Mist. All right, my number 4 on Cold Sniff is Love You Berry Much. And this is one that I had never smelled before. And Scentsy says this is a fragrance to crush on. Bursting red berries, dreamy white peach, and tart cranberry finished with a splash of vanilla. So this is a very bright and tangy berry scent. Now that I read peach, I am picking up a lot of peach in this scent. And I think that's what's making this kind of sweet and tart and fruity and juicy. But then I do get some of that almost like bitter tartness from the cranberry. So it's a really, really nice combination. I don't get a ton of vanilla. That's probably in there to make this feel a little bit more like perfumey or body care rather than something like edible. But this is really, really nice. To me, this actually smells like a fall or winter berry scent. It doesn't have any spice to it, but there's just something about probably the cranberry note that gives me kind of fall or winter vibes. It doesn't smell quite as perfumey as Blizzard Berry, and definitely with the peach, it smells more tart. And you know, just right now, it kind of hit me, and I don't want to scare anyone, but this kind of reminds me a little bit of Cloudberry Dreams. It reminds me of the peach and berry notes in Cloudberry Dreams without the rose. So I think if the rose note in Cloudberry Dreams bothers you, you should give this a try. This actually smells a lot like that to me, but a little bit more palatable, I think, because it doesn't have that really kind of strong rose scent bearing down. This is really nice. I'm excited to try this. I think it would be really, really pretty in a bedroom. All right, and in the number 3 spot, this was a big surprise to me. This is Blonde Wood and Moonflower. And Scentsy says this is pale warm wood and amber enveloped demure moonflower, delicate white roses, and upturned lilies in a modern magical fragrance. So that sounds like it would be very, very floral. To my nose, this actually reminds me a lot of cashmere pear or white sands. So you get that kind of musky, ambery, sultry sweetness. This definitely smells perfumey, but I get a lot of amber and I guess just a little bit of perfuminess from the floral, but this doesn't come off as like headache inducing floral. This is definitely more on the kind of cashmere side of perfuminess. So I think if you like white sands, if you like cashmere pear, you should definitely give Blonde Wood and Moonflower a try. All right, and my number 2 on Cold Sniff is Flower Child. And Scentsy says this is sweet red berries layered over wild gardenia and sandalwood. And I can remember when this one was in the catalog, but I don't remember warming a ton of this scent. And I wonder if it might have been kind of on the lighter side, and that's why I'm not sure. But now I am loving this scent. So this is definitely very feminine, very perfumey. It's very sweet. So I get a lot of a kind of sweet, perfumey body care berry. It honestly just kind of smells like a sweet cotton candy scent with just a little hint of floral and a little hint of berry, but it's very, very feminine and perfumey, and I absolutely love it. I have heard people compare this scent to, I think it's Juicy Couture, Viva La Juicy, one of those Juicy Couture perfumes. I haven't smelled those or used those, but when my husband and I were smelling this, this immediately reminded me of one of my all-time favorite perfumes. This is the Ralph Lauren Big Pony number 2. I think that this is discontinued. I don't believe that you can readily get this anymore. And this is just one of my all-time favorite perfumes. And this bar smells very, very similar to it. I'd say that Flower Child is just a little bit sweeter, like cotton candy type sweet compared to the Big Pony, but they're very, very similar. And that made me so happy because I love this perfume. So I can see me adding this to my Scentsy Club, especially if it's a good performer. I just think this would be so pretty in a bedroom in the spring and summer. Oh, I love it. So I think if you like perfumes like the Juicy perfume or like this perfume, you definitely have to give Flower Child a try. I'm so excited about this one. All right, and then the star of this round of Bring Back My Bar for me is Forever Yours. I have been wanting this scent to come back ever since it was last available in a Bring Back My Bar, and I think it might have been around 2017. It was when we moved into this house and I had this warming in our bedroom, so I kind of have a scent memory attached to this scent. It is such a pretty scent, and Scentsy says this is sweet, creamy lemon and enchanting jasmine, a rhapsody of devotion. Now, smelling this scent, I don't think I would be able to pick those notes out. To me, this just kind of smells sweet and perfumey and feminine. It's a little tiny bit on like the powdery or musky side of perfume, but it is so, so pretty. So now that I read the scent description, there is a very light kind of freshness or tartness from the lemon. But again, when I smell the scent, I wouldn't necessarily pick out lemon as a note, but I think it just makes this scent kind of light and really, really pretty. I'd say that I do smell jasmine, and it's kind of the same jasmine that's in Luna. So if you like kind of florally, perfumey scents like Luna, I think you should definitely give Forever Yours a try. Oh, it's so, so pretty. So this one is a little bit on the lighter side from my experience with it, but it's so worth it when it's going. It is just so, so pretty. So I'm excited. This one is definitely going right into my Scentsy Club. When I was trying to think about something that this smells similar to. I actually think it smells a little bit similar to the Bumble and Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil Spray. This smells a little bit more powdery to my nose than the Forever Yours, but I think if you know this scent and like this scent, you will like Forever Yours. It is just kind of a sweet perfume scent, really, really pretty. I would love this in a perfume or a body lotion. Oh, I think it would just be so pretty. But yes, this is definitely going into my Scentsy Club. This is the one that I was most excited for, but there were definitely some other hits for me in this group of Bring Back My Bars. So I would love to know your thoughts on this upcoming round of Bring Back My Bar. If you've had a chance to get your hands on the sampler set, I would love to know which are your favorite scents, which scents were the most surprising to you. If you haven't had a chance and are waiting for June 1st, I would love to know which ones you're most excited to smell. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.